In this episode, we see Bertha pay Gladys a visit to see what's going on in this mice-infested British castle. She notices the dynamic between the Duke and the overbearing sister and gives Gladys a few tips to assert herself and stand firm in her position as the new Duchess in her household. Gladys even calls out the evil Duke's sister for getting up from the dinner table before her as the Duchess by asking her if she's fallen ill, because she must not be feeling well for getting up from the table before her. Bertha looks proud. Yes, Gladys, put this evil heifer in her place. Oscar confronts the scammer Mothbeaten and she reveals that she's broke and the gentleman she worked with ran away with the money and abandoned her. This explains why she's working at the whorehouse. To be honest, I don't feel sorry for her. I think this is the moment Oscar accepted the money is long gone. He's been doing well, so he should just focus on rebuilding his reputation in the financial sector. Big Daddy Russell seemingly gets what he wants thanks to JP Morgan pressuring the other businessmen to consider the future and finally come to an agreement to get the deal done. George is thrilled, but the former employee appears to have a trump card to play as he reveals to his new employer that he knows where the bodies are buried. I knew George firing him was going to bite him in the ass in the end. Marion can't seem to get over the fact that Larry lied to her about hanging out at the whorehouse and breaks off the engagement. This girl just can't stay engaged to save her life. I think she moved too swiftly with this decision and may regret it later. Thanks to that hating-ass old biddy Mrs. Armstrong, Agnes learns that Jack is now wealthy. She calls Ada into her room and demands she get control over her household and asks Jack to leave. I get that Jack wanted to give himself a little time to transition, but it literally makes no sense for him to continue working for them and getting paid a wage he no longer needs. Later, we see that Ada has a conversation with Jack and congratulates him on his success and encourages him to move forward with his life, but he can always come and pay them a visit. Ada was so awesome in this moment, she gently pushes him out of the nest. Agnes's approach would have been far more cutthroat. Jack leaves but gifts everyone who invested in his patent an envelope full of money. I'm just happy Agnes got her hands on some cash. Now let's just invest it and rebuild your wealth. Peggy's suffrage meeting is tainted by Mrs. Kirkland's conservative views, but she has a nice laugh with Dr. Kirkland because his mother was clearly predictable. This episode ends with Oscar meeting with his boo thing, John Adams. Oscar thanks him for helping him get back on his feet and rebuilding his reputation with new clients. He continues and tells him, "You're my savior and I thank you with all my heart." He practically professes his love for him at this moment. As they depart, John waves goodbye and suddenly a horse and carriage runs him over. Oscar looks on in horror and the episode fades to black. This was another good episode. I love the progression with all the characters this week. Oscar finally got closure with the Mothbeaten situation, but now he must deal with the possible loss of his one true love. Jack finally moves out of the Van Ryan household and begins his new life as a wealthy bachelor. He was already working on his next invention, so I'm excited to witness the continued growth of this character. I thought it was really nice that he left everyone a return on their investment. Peggy continues to get close with Dr. Kirkland, but it's clear his mother is going to be a problem. George is happy that the railroad deal will be successful, but he's unaware that Clayton is about to use his trump card. Lastly, Gladys finally steps up and takes her rightful place in her marriage. It is clear she needed a little encouragement from Bertha to grow a spine. Overall, I rate this episode a solid A. If you like this review, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.